This is the 8th talk on the Śurangama Sutra digest. And today we are going to finish chapter 4. And the topic is related to the Tathagatagarbha. It's very important topics for Mahayana tradition. And since my name is Chang Hwa, and I'm currently the resident, I'm the director of the Chan Meditation Center. And so let's, beside the beginning, okay. Let's recite together the verse for beginning the sutra, then I will start my talk today. Please join palms and together. The unsurpassed, profound, and sublime Dharma is difficult to encounter even in a billion aeons. Today we see, hear, receive, and uphold it, bowing to fathom the true meaning of the Tathagata. See the Tathagata, it's really hard to pronounce. Okay, let's get back to the front page. Okay, I choose this painting. I once visited MoBA, the museum in Manhattan, and I saw this painting, kind of a famous painting, and I don't understand why, because it's nothing, just white color. And I just look from different angle and up and down, left and right, and try to find something special that make this painting precious. But you know, I don't know, my kind of knowledge is not that great. So, but then I asked someone who knows art about this painting. And so she explained to me that because the texture, this is oil painting, the texture and something, you look it in the night and you look it in the day, and you know, different mood and different conditions, and you will feel differently about this painting. So you have to go back, look. So I think, oh, this is very good picture, a photo for today's topic, the Tathagatagarbha. Okay. It's formless, but it's everything. Depends on the viewer, and you will see different things or feel different things or resonate with painting in a different way. Okay. So we still continue chapter 4. Okay. Last talk, we talk about how this world come into beings. And unfortunately, we have a technical issue, so the recording did not complete. So I will briefly, because it's very important topics, why this world manifest. Okay. And I will just quickly recap a little bit through my talk. So it all starts with Paruna's questions that when Buddha has explained, you know, the 5 aggregates, the 6 faculties, 12 sides, and 18 realms, and 7 elements and space, all this phenomenal appearance pointed to the emptiness of the Buddha nature. Okay. So it's obvious, and naturally all the people will ask the same question, like, okay, if they are, you know, all this, we think this is mundane world's phenomenon, are illusory, and at the same time, it's also fundamentally pure nature of Tathagatagarbha. Then how come suddenly the mountains, the rivers, you know, etc., come into being? and then subject to a succession of changes, ending and restarting again and again. Okay, so Buddha, Buddha in the previous talk, Buddha explained, okay, because we are luminous, you know, our Buddha nature luminous from within always. But once we try to illuminate something, we try to see something, that becomes our fundamental ignorance. And this wanted to illuminate something, then the subjectivity and objectivity arise. And this is what we call three subtle aspects of appearances. And once we have dual objectivity and subjectivity, then we start to discriminate. Oh, this is, you and I are different. And you and I are same, like in the USA, in the US, we are in the same place, the same country. Okay, so we define the differences and also define the sameness at the same time. The neither sameness nor differences need to establish. So you can define whatever to discriminate that this is the same, this is not the same, depend on your aspects. But there is the things that does not belongs to the differences and sameness is, we talk about that, is about our six consciousness and six organs. The six essential organs and six consciousness does not belong to the differences and the sameness. And now from this establishment of these three, then the world, the differences become the world, this world manifest. And when we talk about sameness, then the space, the void space manifest. And how about the neither sameness nor differences? Then it will become the so-called real conditioned Dharma that is about our six faculties and six consciousness. Okay, that's the first stage. Why this world manifests? Because we have the objectivity, and why we have the space, we have the subjectivity. And then Buddha further explained, you know, because our assistant, our insistent to something in the wind form, and later the fire, the gold, or the earth, and the water, the four great elements formed. And that depends on its which is stronger than the ocean, the mountain, the tree, and the wind, the cloud manifest. So this world exists like what we perceive right now. Now, okay, this is the complicated but important things. Is, okay, if we use 12 dependent origination model to explain the Śurangama Sutras, the not theory, the concept. Now, the first four from ignorance, volitional formation, and then due to our fundamental ignorance, we generate consciousness, try to discriminate or try to perceive, and that will grasp the name and form. Our consciousness will grasp the name and form. And this four steps is how the three subtle aspects of appearance manifest, which are ignorance, subjectivity, and objectivity. The consciousness is subjectivity, and name and form are the objects that we grasp. And now is if this kind of grasping persists, then the name and the form will continue. If, for example, we talk about when parents, they trying to bear a baby, then the baby's consciousness enter into mother's womb and then grabs the so-called name and form, then it become an embryo in mother's womb, and then further developed into 6 faculties, 6 organs developed. And with the consciousness, you have 6 faculties that can contact with the outside environment. So through this grasping, this physical world continue. Okay, this is called the perpetualities of physical world through the 6 faculties and the contact with the world. So fundamentally, all the living beings need to perceive in order to know we exist. Okay, can you imagine that we have no 6 organs? We cannot perceive things from outside. How can you know you exist? You will feel like a dead people, that your eyes does not work, cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot smell, you cannot touch. Your 6 organ doesn't work anymore. And not only that you don't know you exist, this world does not exist either, right? So this world need persist because we have 6 faculties that get in contact with the environment, so that we know this, the so-called 正报医报, the author, the right retribution and dependent retributions exist. Okay, and then later on, through the contact, we have sensation, perceptions, and we have craving. That's how the so-called the perpetuality of sentient beings. Okay, so be a sentient beings. The main reason is we have the sensation, and on top of that, we generate craving. That means we like it or we don't like it. Okay, so we will pick and choose later on. So this craving things is the core reason for us to continue to be reborn again and again. We explained that in the previous talk. And then once we have a strong loving or hatred, we will take actions. We will decide to, get rid of it or take it. And then we possess, take action, then we have the karma. And then we born again and aging and death, died again. And this is called a perpetuality of karmic retribution. And this, from the 6th entrance to the aging and death, this process is the 6 coarse aspects of appearance, which are discrimination, continuity, attachment, defining names, producing karma, and suffering from karma. Okay, so the existence, the cyclic existence of sentient beings can be explained by these 12 dependent origination, and also it can be explained by what the Śurangama Sutra talk about, the 3 subtle aspects of appearance and the 6 coarse aspects of appearance. Okay, that's pretty much the summaries from the previous talk. Now, this perpetuality, we will talk about, the world, the physical world, the sentient beings, and our karmic retribution. These 3 are called the upside down perpetuations. And Buddha continue to tell Purana that all these three upside down perpetuations are derived from the luminous enlightenment, trying to illuminate or trying to understand the nature of enlightenment, just like us, because, Shifu told everybody know that I'm not enlightened because I'm not compassionate enough, I'm not wise enough, and I have so much afflictions. So I'm not enlightened for sure. So now I need to practice. I want to see my Buddha nature. Okay, Buddha say, okay, this is the fundamental ignorance. Yeah, we need to have the vow to practice and to see our Buddha nature, but we have to know that our Buddha nature is within us already. You don't need to illuminate. It's like you want to shine on something outside. This intention is the fundamental ignorance. So for practitioners, we always see inward, and you don't have to do anything. We only need to drop our afflictions, and we can see our Buddha nature. So Buddha point out that out of this understanding, then phenomena formulate. From these illusions of phenomena, one sees things arise, including the mountain, the rivers, and other conditioned phenomena, which are subject to sequential changes. Therefore, all these illusions perish and arise repeatedly. So here, Buddha point out very fundamental problem that why we can see this so-called world exist, because we wanted to illuminate something. And a lot of people get frightened, like no self. When I get to know self, am I dead? Because I cannot perceive, I don't have, there is no me to process all the information perceived by my six organs. And how do I exist? Like we will be afraid. Fundamentally, we will be afraid that we don't exist anymore. Okay. And so our mind always try to grasp, try to illuminate something. That's our main problems. Okay. Now, Purana continue. Okay. I believe in you. But if this wondrous enlightenment is fundamentally the wondrous lucidity of enlightenment, okay, pay attention to luminous or lucidity, that means from within, our Buddha nature shine from within, okay, and is the same as the mind of Buddha, which neither increases nor diminishes, and suddenly all beings and all conditioned phenomena, the mountain, rivers, and everything else on earth arise without a reason. Okay. And now that Buddha has realized, okay, so according to Buddha's explanation, we all have the luminous enlightenment. Then this world, the mountain, rivers, just suddenly appear. Sounds like that. Okay. So then Varuna say, okay, Buddha, you has realized this wondrous enlightenment of luminous emptiness. Will the mountain, the river, the lands, and the beings with conditioned habits without fault ever arise again? So here, the assumption from Purana is that his understanding is that for an enlightened one, because they don't have the intention to eliminate something. So they don't have the fundamental ignorance. So they, in their world, they don't, they don't have the mountains, the rivers, and everything else on earth arise. That's his understanding of Buddha's words. Okay. And so since you are enlightened one right now, like what we were before, and we suddenly get ignorance, and then these worlds arise. And then Buddha, and when will you give rise to those ignorance and the world manifest again? Will you see? We always have two kinds of question. One is, you say I'm originally, I have the Buddha nature. I'm ultimately I'm the enlightened one. But how come I'm ordinary people right now? Why I have ignorance? I have all kinds of affliction right now. What is the first cause for me to become a sentient being if I'm fundamentally enlightened one? And the second question, just vice versa, is okay, you enlighten. Then when will you, because same mechanism, when will you have the first cause to be ignorant and become a sentient being again? Okay, so that's basically two kinds of question, but the same problem, same ignorance. Now Buddha say, okay, we have to thank all the Ananda, Paruna, all kinds of great disciples here that ask all kinds of questions for us, because that's basically our questions too. Now Buddha wanted to explain, clarify, what is it called delusion and what is realization? So that's, do you think you are deluded? Or you enlightened? Do you think you are enlightened or deluded? And what is real enlightened means? A lot of people get confused. Like, oh, okay, Buddha is enlightened one. Ordinary people are deluded one. So I'm going to practice and become a Buddha. And here, Buddha give an analogy, say, okay, if a man loses his way to a village, because he wanted to go to a village, but by mistaking south for north, does his mistake come from delusion or realization? For example, if you want to go to Boston, unfortunately, you should go to north, right? From New York, you need to go north all the way to Boston. But the problem is you go south, and then you move and you get to DC, and then somebody tell you that, sorry, you take the wrong way. You got to go to Boston, the opposite way. Then you realize, oh, I take the wrong way. I have to turn around. That is north. This to DC is not north, it's south, and I have to turn 180 degrees and turn around to north, then I can get to Boston. Okay, here now, Buddha's question is, your delusion, the delusion come from you take the wrong way, or the delusions come from you realize that you are wrong? Have you thought about this question? For example, your first time become a mother, right? You have a baby, and you you hear, you see, you learn, and then you try to be a good mother. Do a lot of things for your kids, right? And a lot of protection, a lot of monies, and all the good stuff to your kids. You want to become a good mother, and you want your children to become a good person or successful persons in the future. That's the right way, right? Right? And one day, that's a news in Taiwan. One day, your daughter, suicide. You don't understand. Then suddenly you realize you are wrong. The way you raise your kids is totally wrong. So the delusion happens when the delusion just happens because your behavior is wrong in the beginning. So that's why you know it's delusion, or you realize that you are wrong when you found out your children committed suicide. Okay, so that's the same thing for us to contemplate. Every day we do things. I think this is the right way. I'm a good person. I'm a good practitioner. I'm a good whatever. And you don't think you are deluded. You think you try your best to be right. And so now, delusion, and at what point that you realize that you are in delusion, and you are realized you have awakening. Okay, so at least from the sutra, Buddha saying that the delusion and realization does not come from the mistake and does not come from your realization. The delusion itself is illusory. And delusion and realization come together. Okay. So it's like, you are in a dream and you don't know you are in a dream. Whatever happened in the dream, you think is real. And once you wake up, you realize that, oh, it was a dream. It's a delusion when you wake up. So realization and the delusions come together, and also it does not come from the behavior in your dream. And it does not come from you wake up. Okay. That's the first point. Śurangama Sutra is really talking about super mundane things. So we cannot use our mundane logic to understand it here. Just keep in mind, okay? If we can truly understand, what is delusion and realization or enlightenment means, then we enlighten, actually. So once you know this is delusion, you are awakening. Once you're awakening, you know this is delusion. That's pretty much what Buddha trying to tell us, the first point. And the second point, the question to Purana. Purana replied, neither, because delusion has no root. How can this mistake come from it? And because realization does not give rise to delusions, how can it be the reason for this mistake? Okay, so Purana further echo Buddha's question. what does that mean? What does it mean that delusion has no root? Sometimes we talk about, we usually, talk about causes and condition, right? And for example, you make this mistake, if there is a reason, right? You want, maybe you say you want to be a good mother. So that's why you do a lot of things, decided a lot of things and control a lot of things for your children. Maybe that's the cause, the root for your mistake. Sorry. It's not the first cause. You've traced down. If you are a compassionate kid, but you can see your mother's mistakes. At the same time, you can see your mother's intention, because your mother was raised this way by your grandma. And naturally, you will think that's the right way, right? But I learned from my mother, and I'm kind of successful. I have a good marriage. I have a good career. I make a lot of money. Isn't that wrong? This must be a good way to raise a kid, right? Because I learned it from my grandma. And so is your grandma the first, the cause for this? Your mom, is the grandma's the cause for your mother's mistake? Probably not. And then you trace back, your grandma is also raised by your great-grandma the same way. Okay, now, can't you find the first cause? You cannot find the first cause. So delusion has no root. You cannot encode anything, any phenomena. You find the first cause, the first reason, the root. This is it. That's how I made my mistake. So that's another concept. Whatever we see, like, you made mistake. But the problem is, you see, in scientific studies, a lot of great discovery came from mistakes. In the lab, we made mistake in our experiment. Then we have a great discovery, and some people get the Nobel Prize for that. So mistake, is that a mistake? You cannot define it. The mistake become a success. So delusion has no root. You don't know what the so-called mistake come from. And you don't even know that it's mistake or not until you get a final result that, this mistake is a great success. Bang, you win a Nobel Prize. And then your great success should be the reason to have a great kid, but banned suicide, become a failure. No, delusion, realization. That's the first Buddha trying to tell us, okay, we have to clarify what is delusion, what is enlightenment means. They are all illusory. Enlightenment is illusory? I'm sorry, Śurangama Sutra say, you don't need to get enlightened. You only have Buddha nature. Okay, let's continue. Buddha said, delusions has no essence. Its nature is ultimately empty. Originally, there never was anything real about the delusion. It only seems that there have been delusion and realization. It seems that. Because if delusion is illusory, enlightenment is also illusory. Because there's this two sides of one coin. And once one has awakened from the delusion disappears. And after this realization, delusion will never arise again. Second, the question Buddha pointed. You ask me, Puruna, you ask me, am I going to give rise to ignorance and see this mundane world and become sentient being again? Let me tell you that no. Now, another analogy is about the concept of arising and perishing. Right? We all know that in this world, things arise, things perish, right? I pour water and I have a full cup of tea, water, and I drink it up and it's empty, and things come, arising, perishing, the house you tear down, just perish, and you build a new one and it's arise. So in our daily life experiences, you think a lot of things come and go, arise and perish. And Buddha say, what does that mean about arising and perishing? Buddha give another analogy, like seeing the flowers in the sky. See, if you have what is that called? The eyes problem, you see floaters, right? If you have floaters, you see a lot of shadows in your eyes. And the same thing, if, this is like a man suffering from an optical illusion who sees flowers in the sky. If he is cured, these flowers will vanish in the sky. But if he waits for them to appear again in the sky, would you consider such a person to be foolish or wise? So, for example, you always see flowers in the sky, right? Because you have eye disease. And one day the doctor give you an eye drop, you cure. Then the flower vanish in the sky as well, right? And then now you sit here and look at the skies, wait and wait and wait. Like, the flowers, should they appear again in the sky? That's the question from Puruna. Buddha, you are awakened right now. When will you give rise to ignorance and see this world again? Buddha say, am I that stupid? I have already cured my eyes. I would already know that the flowers in the sky are illusory. And I got cured, the flowers disappear. It's empty space. And foolish men will wait to see that flowers reappear again. So basically, no. And so another analogy is the gold mine, the ore that has gold, right? And then Buddha said that consider the examples of a gold mine. The ore contains gold mixed with impurity, like the top, right? You see gold in the stone, in the ore. Once the gold has been refined, you extract the gold, it will not revert to ore, nor, the gold, once you purify it out of the ore, it's pure gold. It won't become a ore with impurity again. No will wood that has burned to ash ever become wood again. So if you burn a wood log, it becomes ashes. It's impossible to reverse to become a wood again. So the same is true of the Bodhi, the enlightenment, and the nirvana that is realized by all Buddhas. Once it's realized, it will not reverse again. Okay, so this is the Buddha's answer to the first part of the question. And the second part of Puruna's question is, okay, now, the nature of the primary element, earth, water, fire, and wind, are fully compatible, pervasive, and everlasting. Means the earth element is everywhere. Water and fire and wind elements are everywhere. But should they be compatible and coexist with each other? But they don't. For example, if you see flowers, you just pour water, then it distinguish, right? And when you see a space, you just fill with soil or feel a lot of stuff, then the space is gone because it's all the material things. And so here, Puruna's confusing is it's a contradict to the Buddha say, means the four elements are everywhere. But from phenomenal observation, some of them seems incompatible. You have fire, then you have no water. Just like our volunteers sometimes say, you come, I don't come. Incompatible. Fashi, you choose him, then I will not come. You choose water, then fire will not exist. That's the same thing. Incompatible. Well, this is another question without very passion. Okay, this is what Buddha says that, okay, Puruna, that essential attribute of space is formless. The space is formless. That's why it can allow everything to appear within it, within space. How can that be? Okay, so that's our daily experience. If empty space, many things can happen. The problem is, okay, for example, the sky is bright when the sun shines. It darkens when clouds gather. When the things, the clouds move, when the wind blows, and when it rains, the sun is gone, and when the rain stops, the sun reappear. Like every day you see the nature phenomena. It happened in the space. Okay. So do these various condition phenomena appearing in different circumstances come into being because of the conditions, or do they come into being from space? Okay, this kind of questionings repeat all the time throughout the Śurangama Sutra, that it break our daily logic thinking, okay, about causes and conditions. Sometimes we will think, because this is a sunny day, this is the condition, right? Sunny day. So the sun, like today, the sun shines bright, right? Also, this is empty space. That's why we can see the sun shines. For example, if this room filled with material, you cannot see the sunlight because the light cannot come in, right? It's all dark, or you use the black clothes to cover up all the windows. You cannot see the sunshine, even it's a sunny day. Okay, so there are a lot of causes and conditions for us to see the brightness in a sunny day. So we will naturally think that, oh, the reason for this to happen, for this phenomena to appear, is because the sunshine, or because the empty space and all that. And the problem is, okay, in our Buddha nature, it's like you can have a sunshine and you can have a rain, you can have a cloud at the same time. How could that be? That's incompatible, right? We think it's incompatible. It's a rainy day. How could it have a sunshine? Right? Buddha say. Now, you should realize that all appearances, all phenomenal appearances are fundamentally illusory and unreal. And so one cannot specify exactly where they are. It is absurd to expect illusory flowers in the sky to bear fruit. How then can you ask why they, the primary elements are exclusive with each other? What happened? I'll explain that later. Because the second statement also very important. You should realize that the nature, the nominal natures of all primary elements are fundamentally genuine, which is merely the lucidity of the wondrous enlightenment. This luminous mind of the wondrous enlightenment is originally neither water nor fire. Why do you question about their mutual incompatibility? Still don't understand, right? Here is the thing. The genuine lucidity of the wondrous enlightenment is like this. Okay. If you illuminate the space appears. If you illuminate earth, water, fire, and wind individually, they will manifest independently. If you illuminate them, the four elements, simultaneously, they will appear altogether. Oh, this is a very important statement. Okay. In our daily life, if you like chocolate or ice cream, you walk on the street, your attention will naturally, spot ice cream, chocolate. And you kind of ignore, there's a there's a shoes, something on the street. You don't pay attention, but naturally those ice cream and chocolate will come into your eyes. If you like handbags, like to shop handbags, you walk, and somehow because your mind illuminate, you like the handbag, whatever you like, you will illuminate those things. Is that your experience? If you like a certain tall people, okay, then you will naturally spot those tall people around, right? And for example, that's for the things. But if you, for example, you like a woman with long hair, or I don't know how to explain. Then, when the woman with long hairs walk by, you illuminate it. Right? And so, and now, here is the thing. If you illuminate individually, for example, you like one person, she has a big eyes, and she has a long hair, and she has a, I don't know, whatever. And that's why you pursue that girl, and finally you get married. But after you get married, you were just like, ugh, I finally understand she's not my right one. Because you start to see the whole picture of her. You live with her, and now, well, how come she likes spicy food? No, I don't like it. And how come she stayed late? I'm the sleep early and early bird, and she just like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, still awake. And more in the morning, wake up like 10 o'clock. So I have no breakfast. And then you start to see the whole picture of this person. You don't like her, and you realize you don't like her. But before you get married, you only spot the things you like. Good. But then you simultaneously, because you live with that person, you simultaneously see that person 360 degrees. Then you finally realize, I don't like her. Let's get divorced. That's about, when we look at things. So in our daily life, we tend to illuminate the things that we are interested in. And we illuminate individual things first before we get to the whole picture, right? And the same thing for keeping the precept, for practice, the same thing. For example, you take the 5 precepts, right? No killing, no stealing, no what? Sexual misconduct, no the lie. You cannot tell a lie, and don't drink alcohol, right? And you say, I cannot take this one. I cannot take this one. I still need to drink wine, And I still prefer have 2 or 3 boyfriends, girlfriends at the same time. Okay, so I don't want to take the sexual misconduct. We encourage you only have 1 partner at the same time. Don't have like more than 1 at the same time. Okay, but he say, I cannot take it. Then you take individually whatever you can take. But if you practice more, you found out that if you can practice, uphold the 5 precepts as a whole, and you will see the big picture of the 5 precepts. For example, no killing. Of course not. I will not kill a person. The problem is if you intentionally or unintentionally steal your colleague's project or credit, and that make him lose job, that make him in trouble. No money to pay the mortgage, no money to pay the children's tuition fee, and then he committed suicide. Because you're stealing, you kill people. Or you tell a lie, you divisive words, you cheating. And then your wife found out that you have an affair with the other woman. She committed suicide. You're killing too, right? So what I'm trying to say is, it seems like you can uphold the 5 precepts individually. You can choose the one that it's easier for you, but overall, at the end, they are together. The same thing, practice samadhi, okay, precept, the threefold learning. The samadhi, I say, oh, I still my mind first, then I practice contemplation. We can start with that. But eventually, our practice is always still the mind and contemplation at the same time. It's impossible. Your mind is not still and you can contemplate something. Or it's impossible that without contemplation, you just sit there for a day or 2 days and you will obtain wisdom, right? Overall, these two need to go side by side. And how about the wisdom, the 6 paramita? Like, too much. I'm old, I only can practice generosity. Make offering, just write a check, and you want to, what is the second one? Uphold the precept. Okay, probably okay. And then diligent. I only can sit 10 minutes, then I fall asleep. 10 minutes, then I have too much wandering. So, because I'm too old, my energy is kind of low. And I cannot practice samadhi, 6 paramita. Impossible. Just pick generosity, make donation, do the volunteers work. But overall, you have to realize that 6 paramita need to practice altogether. When you practice generosity, right, you need to uphold the precepts. And you need to practice diligence. And you need to practice samadhi and mindfulness. Why is that? Today, I donate $1,000. I want, I want to make sure people see it. So I'm make big donations. Then you attach to the actions, the Dharma of generosity. And you are not get wisdom or get freedom out of this type of generosity. You have to make offering. For example, these people really need help. I have only $100. How much should I give that person? $10 or $50 or all my $100 that need wisdom and that need diligence. After you make donations, they go, no second thoughts. Otherwise, you meditate. Today, I donate $100 to that person. Will that person get a better life? I hope she's good. She's get better. And you a lot of thoughts in your mind, which mean to be good, but this is kind of thought is not good. Samadhi. And so in the end, we practice the 3 spheres of emptiness. There is no one donate, there is no receiver, and there is no $100. And then you attain liberation. Okay, right now here, I'm trying to elaborate. Buddha's teaching is about, that's our ordinary experience. If you illuminate something, that thing appears to you. If you illuminate individually, those things manifest individually. If you can illuminate altogether, the things, the totality manifest. Okay? That goes to the key question. So does the question, so the water and fire can coexist or not? Can the earth and wind coexist or not? If you illuminate them independently, They cannot, the fire is fire, water is water. They cannot coexist. But if you illumine them all together, all the phenomena has four of them, all of them. They coexist. Okay, so for example, when you burn in the fire, see the gas is liquid, right? You probably don't know the tank of gas. It's liquid. And if you burn in something, the fire, it evaporates. So if you put the glasses, and then it will condense water. So the fire elements and the water elements actually they are together. For example, do you think ice has temperature? We think like the boiling water is hot, right? It has fire element. Fire element means warmth. So do you think the room temperature water has temperature? Of course, right? How about ice? Ice also has temperature. It also has, right now the coldest one is minus 237 something, minus degree. Still has temperature. It still has the warmth in a very cold temperature. Cold ice has temperature. And how about the wind and earth? If the earth has no wind, these things will not collapse. It will not decay. Because, if I use cup for 1,000 years, this become, wear out. The wearing out is the wind that get rid of the material. So Buddha trying to point out that because we cannot see the true nature of the four elements, that's why we think that the four elements cannot coexist. If we see the true nature of these four elements simultaneously, they actually coexist altogether. That's another question for, so here, like if you sit on that chair, I cannot sit on that chair, right? Because it's occupied. But have you heard the story in the Viramala Sutra? That Vinakama gets sick, and then he wanted invited. So Buddha sent a Manjushri to comfort him. Then all the bodhisattva and great disciples come into the Varamalakirti's small room. They don't occupy space. So, in other words, because our karmic retribution, we perceive this world as this, and we have a concept of time and space, and material and water and fire, the wind. We have all this the concept restrict us, so everything are incompatible. But actually, everything are compatible. Okay. Anyway, let's go to the three aspects of the Tathagatagarbha, the esoteric source. Okay. Buddha further explained, okay, because you cling to us, cling to the idea that form and space are mutually incompatible within the Tathagatagarbha, which manifest accordingly as space and form, and pervades the whole Dharma realm. So the whole universe we can perceive has what? The four elements. And as a result, there appear within it the Tathagatagarbha, the the blowing wind, the still voidness, a bright sun and dark clouds. And due to their delusions and perplexities, living beings like us turn their backs on body and cling to sense objects. We are not facing our body enlightenment, and on the other hand, we cling to the sense object, the outside objects. We stick to it, thereby giving rise to myriad afflictions, and thereafter the worldly conditioned phenomena appear. So this is a very important statement for ordinary people, how we operate our body and mind, because we have the concept of form and space. Now, how about for a Buddha? So I give the whole translation here. As to Buddha, I use the non-arising and non-perishing wondrous lucidity, of course, with the Tathagatagarbha, which is merely the lucidity of wondrous enlightenment, that perfectly luminous in the Dharma realm. Therefore, within the Tathagatagarbha, the one is infinite, and the infinite is one. Large and small. Know this concept. The large manifests in the small, and vice versa. And the immovable Bodhi mandala appears universally. The Dharma body embraces the inexhaustible space in the 10 directions. The kingdom of treasures, the Buddha land, appears on the tip of a hair, and I sit in a peck of dust to turn the great Dharma wheel. As I have wiped out all illusory sensual objects and accord with Bodhi. So that's why the lucidity from the true suchness of the wondrous enlightenment reveals. You see, all these statements, we heard a lot from our Chan master. You know, sometimes when our Chan master got enlightenment, this is something real weird. Probably all like this, the big and small. The time and space does not exist. And the concept of big and small, gain and loss, does not exist. And you will see this world in a very different way. But unfortunately, the ordinary people, okay, I make this table to make things clear. Puruna is ordinary people. Buddha is enlightened one, okay? On your left, we attach to form and space. So this form and space generate the 4 elements that pervade the whole Dharma realm. But the 4 elements in the Dharma realms is limited. For example, there is a fire, then there is no water, okay? And also, my organ, my eyes, about how far I can see. Probably, I don't know, 1 mile, something, right? How far I can hear. And you know, how subtle I can touch. I'm limited by the form, this body form. My body limited my ability, and the space limited my imaginations. And how about Buddha? He used the non-arising and non-perishing wondrous lucidity, and it perfectly luminous in the Dharma realms. So one is infinite and an infinite is one. So if we have the luminous enlightenment in the Dharma realm, we can see anything, everything in this universe very clearly. Like a drop of rain, any phenomena, any people's thought, you know clearly, very clearly in very detail. Not like 1 mile, like, you know, out of this room, I don't know what happened outside, and I cannot see, your wallet in your pocket. I cannot see how many hairs you have. The tip of hair, cannot see it. And let alone like you put a universe in the tip of your hair. That means you can see a tip of hair. You see all the universe like you see the tip of hair. That's subtle. Okay. So the main reason why we have such differences between ordinary people and Buddha is really we turn our backs on the Buddha, Bodhi, and cling to sense objects. And Buddha turn away, wipe out all illusory sense objects and accord with Bodhi. Okay, so that's why we see this world in such a different way. Okay, now, very important, the aspects of Tathagatagarbha. Like people always think that, oh, when we talk about Tathagatagarbha, it means like emptiness. Emptiness is nothingness, nothing exists. Everything is illusory, right? So nothing really exists. But Buddha say, okay, that's there is a aspect called empty Tathagatagarbha. It's the genuine, wondrous, perfect mind. Okay, and it focus on neither, just denied everything, the true existence of everything. Denied all the true existence of phenomenal existence. So it eliminates all the phenomenon, the existence. Eliminate that. So our true mind reveal. Okay. So here in the sutra, Buddha mentioned that, no matter what different stages, the ordinary people, we use our worldly mind, right, to perceive the space, the four great elements, to use our six organs to interact with the six sense objects and generate six consciousnesses to make discrimination, right? That's we, right? The daily operation of our body and mind. And Buddha said, sorry, that's not your Tathagatagarbha. It's not. Secondly, the Pratika Buddha. Okay. The main practice for Pratyeka Buddha is the 12 links, dependent origination. In the Heart Sutra, talk about that, right? And Buddha said, no, it's not it. It's not a 12 link of dependent origination either. And the Sravaka, Four Noble Truths, Buddha said, it's not Four Noble Truths either. For Bodhisattva, the wisdom, the gain, the realization of the wisdom by means of the six paramita. Buddha says, so sorry, your Tathagatagarbha is not the six paramita either. And for Buddha, okay, it should be it, right? Anuttara Samya Sambodhi, Parinirvana, the true eternity, bliss, self, and purity. Right? Tathagatagarbha should be this, right? Buddha said, no, it's not. So this table showed us your Tathagatagarbha does not come from your ordinary body and mind, does not come from, you practice 12 links of dependent origination, not come from the Four Noble Truths, the six paramita, and Anuttara Samya Sambodhi. They are not. Right? In other words, our Buddha nature does not come from these practices, does not come from all these levels of practices. The purpose of these practices is to sever our affliction, because our Tathagatagarbha is already there. Okay, that's called, you have to denied everything, denied all the phenomenon appearance, deny all the practices we take, deny everything, the conditioned Dharma. They are not. The second aspect is called the non-empty Tathagatagarbha. So it's the wonder of the complete luminous mind. Okay, if you can read Chinese, 本妙圆心, now it's 圆明心妙. Okay, so it's the first is more focused on, we already have this genuine, wondrous, perfect mind there. It's not because you do something, then you obtain your Buddha nature. It's already there, perfect mind. But the second part is non-empty, focus on. Otherwise, people think, oh, just like a dead man, like so nothing exists. So we don't exist. Does that mean our Buddha nature like this? People will go to extreme. Now Buddha say, okay, sorry, Tathagatagarbha has another aspect called non-empty Tathagatagarbha. And it's the wonder of the complete luminous mind. So the complete luminous mind has function. It is, now come back. It is ordinary people's worldly mind, and the space, the four elements, the six organs, and the six objects, and the six consciousness. Okay, based on this, Buddha teach the second part, the chapter, start from chapter 5. We'll probably talking about next year, the 25 methods to enlightenment. We use the six organs, six sense objects, the six consciousness, four great elements, space, and worldly mind. All these 25 methods to achieve enlightenment. And Buddha now try to break the attachment to emptiness. Now it's non-empty, indivisible. Our Tathagatagarbha is this, and is Pratyeka Buddha's 12 links of dependent origination, is Sravaka's 4 great noble truths, is Bodhisattva's 6 paramita, and also is Buddha's Anuttara Samyasambodhi and Nirvana. You cannot, that's different aspect, is about the functions of the Tathagatagarbha. Now the third is the non-dual. See, empty and non-empty. Empty and non-empty. But now is middle way. It's non-dual. The Tathagatagarbha is non-dual. So it's the source of the wondrous, luminous mind. Okay. It is apart from is and is not. And yet both is and is not. This is middle way, the Madhyamaka's logic. It's difficult to understand, but the main principle is Madhyamaka philosophy or concept is trying to break our attachment to the extreme. You don't stand on site. You don't stand here. You don't stand there. You don't have standpoints. Because once you have standpoints, you have the sense of self. Even though you stick to the concept of emptiness or stick to the concept of non-emptiness, once you have that, then you have either Dharma attachment or self-attachment. Okay, so you have to let go. In order to understand the true Tathagatagarbha, there is one aspect. So, for example, the same 5 categories of practice, Buddha says that you need to be apart from what is and be apart from what is not. And also, you are indivisible from what it is. and indivisible from what is not. Okay, we just talk about this. We have to realize it in order to understand it truly. Now, for this part, because it's so hard to understand, Buddha give an analogy, very good. For instance, a lute, a good lute or a guitar, very expensive guitar or piano, right? It can make remarkable melody. But it makes no sound without skillful fingers. No matter how expensive your piano is, how expensive your whatever guitar is, if there is no one to play it, a very skillful person to play it, there is no remarkable melody. So the instrument, the precious instrument is our Buddha nature. And the skilled fingers is our mind. And Buddha's mind, Buddha says that when I press my fingers, like me here, no matter how I press, nothing happened. Buddha said when he pressed the finger, then the ocean seal radiates. Ocean seal means the Sagara Mudra Samadhi. This is a big topic for the Hawaiian Sutra. Okay. The Hawaiian Sutra talk about this ocean seal Samadhi, the Sagara Mudra Samadhi. That means the Buddha's mind. Our Buddha nature is just like a very vast ocean, very quiet and flat, vast ocean that manifests everything as is. Okay, so Buddha said that he pressed the fingers, this samadhi radiates. So all the wisdom power radiates. And all the sentient beings, according to our karmas and conditions, we can get benefit from the Buddha's wisdom. But how about us? When our mind moves, when our fingers moves, we only generate afflictions. Buddha used his finger, push it, the ocean seal manifest. When we move our fingers, our affliction arise. That's the different thing. Okay, so the finger is very important. Every one of us has a precious Buddha nature. Very expensive piano, very expensive guitar. But the problem is the finger, you play different things. So Buddha said that, okay, let's get back to the practice. We still need to practice, okay, to let go of the afflictions. Now, this sutra, in the beginning, Ananda asked Buddha, why I cannot overcome, this woman's cast a spell on me. I cannot get over it. I have no power. So Ananda asked Buddha, what is the wondrous samatha? What is the wondrous samabadi? And what is the wondrous dhyana? That's the main question for this whole sutra. And let's get back to this because we pretty much finished the wondrous samatha. Calm and still like a mirror. We practice our mind, calm and still like a mirror, so that we can see the emptiness of our true mind. So the main practice is contemplation of the emptiness. And the second one is in the next chapter, okay? Next chapter we will talk about the 25 methods to enlightenment. It's the practice of samabadi. It's like seeds sprouting from soil. We use illusory body to practice this illusory mind so that we can see our true nature. Okay, so the 6 organs, 6 objects, 6 consciousness, the 4 elements, the space, all that are illusory. We use that illusory as the object to practice and to see our true mind. That's called the contemplation of the conventionality. And how about dhyana? It's like the sounds from instruments. Just like I say, guitar. If you have great finger, you play it. So what is the true practice of dhyana? That's the contemplation of the middle way. So you see, the sound is the wisdom from the Tathagatagarbha, the Buddha nature. Okay, so we have an instrument. And when sentient beings need our help, then Buddha, ding, the sound come out from the instrument, and the sound come to you and help you, and then it disappears. So my finger will not attach to the instrument. Also, the sound is not stay with the instrument. And it's the sound. So that's called, it's very, the Buddha always like, get back to the original questions. The manifestation of Buddha by his wisdom power, yet is formless, is everywhere, but he does not have the karmic retribution. But we ordinary people have karmic retribution. That's why we perceive this world. When we see Buddha or Bodhisattva in this world, that's our perception. But Buddha does not exist in this mundane world like us. Okay, it's our karma as well, that how we can resonate with Buddha and Bodhisattva. But Buddha and Bodhisattva, they will resonate with based on our wishes, based on our vows, and based on our merits and virtues. The sound, ding, come to you. And after you receive your help, the sound's gone. Okay, so that's the practice of dhyana. Okay, I have to finish this. Bruna's question, so why all beings are now deluded? Okay, get back to Bruna still want to understand, you know. Okay, I have Buddha nature, why I'm illusory here? The very famous parable of called the Yanadatta, the crazy man of Yanadatta. So what happened is, one day Yanadatta looked at the mirror and he found out that my head is in the mirror. And he just get crazy. Where is my head? Where is my head? He said, look, go around and ask people, where is my head? People say, your head is on your body. Your head is on your body. They said, no, it's in my mirror. Look, when I see the mirror, my head is in the mirror. So Buddha say, this illusory concept, like I lost my head, is that real? So here is Buddha said that, see this delusion. This delusion has no basis because it's based on the wrong assumption. That's why you have the delusion that you lost your head. But you never lost your head. So no causes exist in the first place. No causes, like, how come I lost my head? It's not a question. Because your assumption is illusory. And so the delusion has no first cause in the first place. So Buddha said, just seize your mind. When you seize your mind, when you stop your madness, then you recover your head. You finally found out, oh, my head is on my body. You does not recover your head. Recover means you lost and you obtain it again. No, it's never left and it's never missing. Okay, so that's the things we need to know, and how to see our Buddha nature. We talk about that next year. Next year. Okay, that's right. So pretty much we go to the very end of the chapter 4, and now we are bridging to chapter 5. Very important. The wondrous Samabadi is the teaching, how to practice, and it will talk about the practices of 25 sages and the 4 clear and definitive instructions on purity and the Śurangama mantra. That's the wondrous Samadhi teachings. Use our wondrous illusory body and mind to practice the true nature. Okay, finish.